When you're considering purchasing a piece of property as an investment for rental income, what are the major systems that you need to look at? You know, the things that could be the most expensive to fix. Well, we're going to cover that in today's video. We're going to talk about the 5 major categories that you want to look at on every single property that you're looking at for investment. Well, welcome back. Let's take a dive into the 5 major categories that you want to look at for every property. Now, when I look at these 5 major categories, these are the items that tend to be the most expensive to repair. They tend to be the most problematic, and they tend to be the things that you need the big professionals for, the licensed contractors. Anything that's not in these 5 categories is cosmetic and can be fixed as easy as putting lipstick on an old pig. But if you don't take care of these 5 major systems, then it doesn't matter how much lipstick you put on it, you're just kicking a can down the road and asking for trouble. So let's take a look at these 5 major issues. Now, these are things you don't always think about when you're looking at a property, because you can't always see them when you walk through the front door. The first thing you want to consider is electrical. How old is the electrical? What type of wiring do you have in the walls? How old is the panel? Do we need to upgrade the electrical? Does it have enough amperage? The things on electrical people don't think about because you don't see it when you walk in. You walk in, you turn the light switch on, a light bulb comes on, you think, great. But if it's an old 1970s house that has aluminum wiring, you may find that you have trouble getting insurance on that home, and you would have to go through the expense of rewiring. So you always want to consider electrical. The next thing you want to consider is plumbing. Now, here in our market, in the Space Coast of Florida, we have a lot of homes that have old cast iron pipes in the ground. These homes make great rental properties. They're solid, they're block construction, they won't go anywhere, and people can't tear them up. They're so solidly built. The problem is the cast iron pipes in the ground are starting to corrode and collapse. They can be very expensive. Again, it's one of those things you don't see when you first walk in the property, so you might have to have a special inspection for it. The next thing we think about is going to be structural. Now, if it's a really bad structural problem, you might notice there's an issue. But structural doesn't just include how straight are the walls or the roof, make sure we don't have cave-ins or foundation issues. Structural can also be windows and doors. See, old windows that need replaced may need a very expensive contractor who's going to pull permits. The same with any exterior doors. So these are structural items that you want to consider. One of the next items is going to be your roof. It's one of the most important pieces of your property. It's what keeps the rain, the sun, and all the weather out. It also is what keeps you insured. I recently just had an insurance policy canceled on one of my rentals because the insurance company decided the roof was too old. Even though my inspector said it had 5 years worth of life, the insurance company said not enough, canceled, and now I have to buy a new roof. Your roof is one of the major components that you need to deal with on your property in order to keep it insured and to make it last a long time so you can provide the cash flow. Finally, we look at our HVAC system. You might walk in and see that it's running well. You might hear it running. You might feel heat. You might feel cool air blowing as the system's working. But let's take a look at the labels on it and see how old it is. See, if it's 3-4 years old, you've probably got another 8 to 12 years left of life on that as long as you care for it well. But if you find out that system is 12 years old, when the average lifespan is between 10 and 15 years, well, you're going to have to bet on replacing it. You might also look at the ductwork that's in the ceilings, because if you look around that ductwork and start to see water stains around the duct, that's an indication that the HVAC duct system is leaking air and it's causing condensation that drips. That's what's forming the water spots around the vents in the ceiling, and that could mean a very costly duct repair to make your HVAC system work. Now, everything that's not part of these 5 categories is cosmetic. Kitchen cabinets, tile color, ugly wallpaper, all those things are cosmetic. You rarely need any kind of a licensing to be able to fix those things. So those are simple cosmetic issues. They're the lipstick that we put on the pig. But these 5 major categories that I've just covered with you, those are the most important nuts and bolts, the bones of your property. Those are the things you need to make sure that you've looked at, that you know what it's going to cost to fix, and that you know how much time or how long they're going to continue to operate for you, so that you've got a good, solid, dependable rental property. If you miss out on doing a detailed inspection of these 5 categories, well, you're asking for trouble. So avoid that trouble. Take time. Look at your electrical. Look at your plumbing. Look at your roof. Look at your structure, and take a good look at your HVAC system. You can find a good inspector who can look at these categories for you. Then if they need work, you can get outside estimates in order to know what that's going to cost you, and then just adjust your offer price accordingly. If you take these steps, then you'll be sure you're getting a solid piece of property that's going to perform for you for years. So don't miss this. Pay attention to the 5 majors, and everything else outside of that, the cosmetic stuff, will work itself through, and the property will provide you years worth of cash flow. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and more importantly, I hope that you take to heart the importance of looking at these 5 categories on every piece of property that you look to buy. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you'd like more information on what it takes to invest in property and have it managed, please give us a call or drop by our office. We'd love to sit down with you and help work a solid plan that can build you long-term wealth with cash flowing real estate.